G'day, my name's Craig and I'm an Aussie right here in America, and today I'm going to talk about the 5 big differences I've found between Australia and the good old US of A. G'day, that's right, my name's Craig and Aussie right here in America. I'm talking about the 5 biggest things I've found right here in the USA. And I'll leave the best to last. Number 5 is very, very weird and very, very strange. But number 1 we'll start with, and that is driving. Yep, we drive on the left side of the road in Australia, you drive on the right side of the road here in America. It's very different, it's very hard to get used to, even to the point where the steering wheel is on the other side of the car as well. But this actually makes a big difference. People ask me, how do you get used to it? Well, if I'm driving alone, I always keep the center of the roadway closest to my side of the car. So if I'm driving on the left-hand side of the car, the center of the road's on the left-hand side of me, so I'm on the right side of the road. It makes sense. It's easier in practice, I'll tell you that right now. But the other thing I get asked, and that is, what about the brake, accelerator, clutch? They're no different. Believe it or not, they're actually no different. The accelerator / gas pedal is always on the right hand side, so you've got no issues with the actual your footwork itself. I will say this though, I'm living currently in New Jersey and it may be different in other states, and if you do this, don't hate me for it, but I'm telling you now, I feel the most aggressive drivers here in good old US of A are those who drive utes, or as you call them here in America, pickup trucks. When I say aggressive, they're bigger here. There's the F-150 and the F-250s. They're huge cars here. Some of them have got double axles on the back. And you know what? They command the roadway. They really do. If I'm driving along the parkway or the turnpike here, as it's known as well, you always got to keep to the right-hand side because they're going to be flying past you on the left. Yes, that's right. It's the same principle except opposite. Here in America, you've got to keep right unless you're passing. In Australia, you keep left unless overtaking. So, same principle. Number 2, and that is the bathrooms and the toilets. The bathrooms here are very, very strange. When I talk about bathrooms, I'm talking about the public bathrooms. The public bathrooms here, in the stalls, they all have a gap. What is with that gap in the toilet doors here in America? I don't know whether it's because you can't see the engage signal and you've actually got to look through the crack to see if someone's in there or not, but it's very strange. So those of you who are coming to America, don't mind that. You will have little gaps in the bathroom stalls in public toilets. But the other thing with the bathrooms and toilets is the toilet itself. They waste so much water here in America, like insane. No such thing here as a half flush. See, in Australia, we've got 2 buttons, half flush and full flush. Half flush for number 1s, full flush for number 2s, makes sense. It saves water. Here in America, the water isn't just in the system. The water is already in the bowl itself. So the bowl is filled with water. And yes, that can be weird sometimes if it's really full with water and it's touching bits and pieces, but I'll let your mind go elsewhere. But the water bowl here is very strange. It's filled to the brim, all ready to go, and then it flushes out and then refills. That's how it works here. In Australia, we've only got this much amount of water very in the bottom, and then it flushes out as it goes. So anyway, it's strange. Number 3 here is measurements. I'm talking measurements, I'm talking about the metric system versus the imperial system. Let's start with that first. Metric system, very easy. 1s and 0s. There's 10 millimeters in a centimeter, there's 100 centimeters in a meter, there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. It's not that hard. It's just 1 0 1 0 0 1 0 0 0. Not that hard. But the amount of people here, Americans, that have asked, what's the difference with your imperial? Like, what goes into what with the imperial? Most of them get the 12 inches in a foot. Some get the foot into a yard. But I'm yet to find anyone who's given me the correct answer from yard to miles. I don't even have a clue myself, to be honest with you. And it's very strange when you're driving and it says 1.2 miles. The 1.2 miles isn't like 1.2 kilometers. It's not 1 kilometer and 200 meters. It's 1 mile and 2/10 of a mile. Try and work that one out on the fly. It's impossible. And then the other measurement system is the temperature. So here you have Fahrenheit, in Australia you've got Celsius. And again, I find Celsius so much easier. Let me know in the comments, by the way, guys, it doesn't matter where you're from around the world, which do you find easier, the imperial system or the metric system? And which do you find easier, the Celsius or Fahrenheit? So Celsius, 0 degrees Celsius is freezing point. 100 degrees Celsius is boiling point. So much easier. Here, I think it's 32 degrees, if I'm saying this right, correct me if I'm wrong. 32 degrees is freezing point and 212 is boiling point. But the way I look at it, I find this very hard, especially getting dressed during the day when I look at the weather coming up and what the temperature is. So when I look at the weather, for instance, I know that, well, I try and do it in 10 degrees Celsius lots. So 50 Fahrenheit is 10 Celsius. 68 Fahrenheit is 20 Celsius. You see where I'm going here. 86 Fahrenheit is 30 and 104 is 40. So working those between, if I get those 4 measurements right, I can roughly work out what's in between. Brings us up to number 4. Number 4 I like, and that is sitting at the bar to eat. What? Okay, in Australia we do have bars and pubs, and you can sit at a pub, bar, and you have a couple of beers, have a couple of schooners, they say. Very different though. Here, all restaurants here, or most restaurants here, have a large bar to sit at. Now, the big plus for this, and that is, I'm by myself a lot here because my wife works quite often, and she's always out of town for work. So if I go out to eat somewhere, I'm by myself. You know what? If you sit at a table by yourself, you look like a lonesome loner. Whereas you can sit at a bar, you can start to chat to the people next to you, you can even chat to the bartender themselves. It's so much more enjoyable to go out and eat here if you're alone. The other big plus to it as well is that the service is much, much quicker. So the bartender normally gives you your meals and your drinks, and they're always onto you, always onto you. Would you like another drink? Would you like another drink? Like, they're always there, ready to go. The downside is though, if you've got 4 or more people in your little party, you're better off sitting at a table because you can't really talk to each other. You know, from the bar's point of view, it's very hard. So 4 or more in your party, probably best of the seats, in my opinion. By yourself though, or even in a couple, you can sit together side by side, have a meal, and there's always TV. Oh, that's the other thing. There's always TVs. There's TVs at every single bar. Every single bar there's TVs, and I'm not talking one TV. I'm talking a plethora of TVs with so many different things on the channel, whether it be baseball and football and all these other different food networks and whatever else as well. There's TVs here everywhere at all the bars. Brings me up to number 5. That's right, the number 5, and the most strange thing I've had to get used to here in America. Believe it or not, I don't think you'll guess. It is light switches and PowerPoints. What? Yes. So the light switches here go opposite to what they do in Australia. So in Australia, if you want to switch something on, you switch it down. Here in America, you switch something on, you switch it up. Yeah, no, it blew my mind as well. I'm like, what the? Is everything upside down here? No. They say we're upside down. I think America's upside down, to be honest with you, to us. So yes, it's totally opposite when it comes to light switches. But the other thing is PowerPoints. PowerPoints in Australia, you plug your item in to the PowerPoint and then you switch the PowerPoint on. Here in America, there's no switches. So the current is continually running through all these PowerPoints. Continually. I don't know how more people don't get electrocuted and killed. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they don't realise you can actually put a switch on these things. I don't know. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget, let me know in the comments below if you found anything different apart from those 5 things.